These people are talking to a known underage, dating a adult, brother. These people are talking to a underage person knowingly that they're underage. Like, knowing that they're dating a adult.
Ain't no charge worse in the pen than being labeled a predator. And in David's case,
when they opened that front hatch on the Tesla and found the bag with the body parts.
And they call that the frunk, if I'm not mistaken, in the front of the Tesla.
the streets think it goes even deeper than that, and insiders are already talking about how rough his time behind bars is going to be. Trust me, prison life won't be easy for him. Here's the harsh reality waiting for him: the body in the Tesla, a discovery that shook the entire internet. The story played out like something straight out of a Netflix documentary. What seemed like a normal September morning in 2025 quickly turned into one of the wildest scandals the music industry has ever seen. On September 8, 2025, workers at Hollywood Tow, a regular impound lot in LA, stumbled onto something that flipped D4vd's whole career upside down. What began as a routine call about a car with a horrible smell turned into a full-blown homicide investigation, and the internet hasn't stopped buzzing since. This wasn't just any random car. It was a 2023 Tesla Model 3, sleek and spotless, registered to none other than David Anthony Burke, better known as D4vd. Just 3 years earlier, he was a suburban teen grinding out Fortnite montages from his bedroom. And by 20, he had blown up into a chart-topping R&B star with over 30 million monthly listeners and billions of streams from hits like Romantic Homicide and Here With Me. He went from his bedroom to the Billboard charts fast, but that morning, none of it mattered. The Tesla had been sitting abandoned for nearly 5 days at Bluebird A and Dway Drive before being hauled to the impound lot. Workers there kept noticing a sour, nasty smell that got worse every day. At first, they thought maybe a cat or some animal had crawled under the car and died. But when the smell became unbearable, they called LAPD, and that's when everything changed.
We had some of them because the police did say that she had this tattoo, which is very interesting, something we found out, but she had a tattoo on her right index finger that said the letters SHHH.
What officers discovered inside the front trunk, or frunk, as Tesla owners call it, was worse than anything they could have imagined. Inside, wrapped in plastic bags and crammed into the small space, was a severely decomposed human body described as not intact and showing clear signs of dismemberment. The condition of the remains suggested the person had been dead for a long time, possibly months, with the hot Los Angeles summer accelerating the decomposition to a horrifying level. The discovery instantly triggered a major investigation led by the LAPD's Robbery Homicide Division. Crime scene investigators swarmed the impound lot, combing through every inch of the Tesla for evidence, while the medical examiner's office began the difficult process of identifying the victim. The advanced state of decomposition made the task nearly impossible at first, with early reports unable to confirm the victim's age, gender, or ethnicity. For more than a week, the story dominated headlines, with one question burning in everyone's mind: who was the victim found in D4vd's car? At the time, the singer was thousands of miles away, in the middle of his world tour, performing in Minneapolis when the news broke. His team quickly issued a statement saying he had been informed about the incident, was fully cooperating with investigators, and had no idea anything strange was happening with his vehicle. The breakthrough came 9 days later, on September 17, 2025, when the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Office made an announcement that shook social media and mainstream news alike. The victim was identified as Celeste Rivas Hernandez, a 15-year-old girl from Lake Elsinore, California, who had been missing since April 2024. She had disappeared at just 13 years old, and her family had spent more than a year desperately searching for her. The identification process revealed disturbing details that fueled weeks of online speculation, including the confirmation that Celeste's identity was partly verified through a distinctive ESH tattoo on her right index finger, a detail that would prove to be far more significant than anyone first realized.
The car had been abandoned on that street in the Hollywood Hills for at least 3 days before it was impounded. We've also spoken to neighbors in that area who said that There were people who had walked by the car and had noticed a bad odor, and that they kind of thought it was either a dead animal somewhere, either under the car or near.
When photos started circulating online, internet sleuths made a chilling discovery. David had an identical tattoo in the exact same spot on his right index finger. This wasn't just a random design. It was a specific pattern that, while made popular by celebrities like Rihanna and Lindsay Lohan, was still uncommon enough that two people connected to the same case having it immediately raised red flags. Social media blew up with side-by-side comparisons of the tattoos, with users demanding answers about what this connection meant. The importance of this detail was first reported by TMZ producer Charles Latibaudier, who explained on the Banfield show how it played a key role in identifying.
Obviously, y'all have seen the current David situation. In this video, I just want to address some stuff. Now, a lot of people on Twitter are mad at me because in 2023, I tried to expose David for what he was doing at the time. And I just want to clear up that the stuff from 2023 was not about the Celeste girl that was obviously recently in the news. It's nothing.
The timeline of events painted an even more disturbing picture. Celeste had vanished in April 2024 when she was only 13, yet the condition of her remains suggested she died much more recently, raising chilling questions about what happened during those missing months. Had she been alive somewhere, hidden away from her family and the authorities desperately searching for her? The implications were too horrifying to process. As news of her identification spread, more unsettling details came from Celeste's family. Her mother revealed to TMZ that Celeste had been dating an older boyfriend named David around the time she disappeared, a revelation that sent chills through everyone following the case. The fact that David's real name was David Anthony Burke felt far too significant to ignore. The internet responded with the kind of fury and speed only social media can create. Within hours, hashtags like Justice for Celeste and David Tesla were trending worldwide, with millions of posts dissecting every detail of the case. True crime communities on Reddit, Twitter, and TikTok began compiling timelines, analyzing photos, and connecting dots that painted an increasingly damning picture. The media coverage was relentless, with outlets from NBC News to the BBC running headlines about the decomposed body and missing teen, while local Los Angeles stations scrambled to piece together how a rising music star's car became the final resting place of a missing child. But perhaps most chilling of all was David's complete silence. While his representatives claimed he was cooperating with authorities, the artist who had built a career sharing his emotions through music suddenly had nothing to say. His social media accounts, once filled with tour updates and fan interactions, went completely dark. The contrast was stark and unsettling. A singer who made millions singing about heartbreak and love now had no words for the most serious crisis of his life. The fallout was immediate. Brands like Crocs and Hollister quickly cut ties, canceling collaborations and removing promotional content featuring him, while fellow artists distanced themselves, with Kali Uchis announcing she was pulling their collaboration from streaming platforms. By the end of this first chapter, the public was left with more questions than answers. How did a 15-year-old girl end up dead in a famous musician's car? What was the true nature of Celeste's relationship with David? And most disturbingly, how many people around him might have known something was wrong but stayed silent? The discovery in that Hollywood impound lot was just the beginning. What investigators and internet sleuths uncovered next would reveal a pattern of alleged grooming, manipulation, and a network of enablers who may have helped cover up one of the music industry's darkest secrets. As the shock began to settle, a much darker story started to surface online. What began as speculation about a tragic coincidence quickly turned into a massive expose of alleged predatory behavior that had been hiding in plain sight. The first major breakthrough came from a leaked demo track that had been circulating in underground music circles since December 2023. The song, titled Celeste Demo, contained lyrics that were haunting in light of the discovery, with David singing about a girl named Celeste with chilling lines like, "Oh Celeste, the girl with my name tattooed on her chest. I hear her voice each time I take a breath, I'm obsessed." The timing of the leak, months before Celeste's disappearance, raised urgent questions about how long David had known her. But that track was just the beginning. As internet investigators dug deeper into David's online activity, they found a disturbing digital trail. Screenshots from David's Discord server dating back to 2022 showed conversations between him and a user named Celeste that appeared flirtatious and inappropriate given her age. In one particularly damning exchange, the user wrote, "Hi, David Bark," and David responded with encouragement and attention. If authentic, these conversations showed David interacting with Celeste when she was as young as 11 or 12, while he was 17 or 18. The power imbalance was glaring, a rising music star with millions of followers talking privately with a child who idolized him. These weren't isolated chats, but part of a pattern of communication that stretched on for years. The disturbing nature of this connection was summed up in a viral post from a user who had been trying to expose David since 2023, as shown in this clip.
Stuff I have from 2023 was nothing to do with Celeste. These were other girls, underage girls, that had claimed David had messaged them or had, relationships with them or, doing inappropriate things with them. And I want people to know that in 2023, I did try and bring the situation to light. And a lot of people remember, I was having a lot of shit for it. It got so bad that David's legal team had got in contact with me to remove everything. I've attached an email here that I received from his team in 2023.
This revelation opened the floodgates for other victims and whistleblowers to speak out. Multiple users on Twitter, Reddit, and other platforms began sharing their own stories and evidence of David's alleged pattern of inappropriate behavior with underage fans. Screenshots, direct messages, and witness accounts painted the picture of a young man who had been using his rising fame to groom and manipulate minors, with Celeste tragically being just one of what could be many victims.
Dude, these people are talking to a known underage, dating a fucking adult, brother. These people are talking to a underage person knowingly that they're underage, like knowing that they're dating a adult. This is weird. What is wrong with it, bro? And dude, don't blame these guys, bro. I was not always about this. You can always blame people that don't around because, bro, they're.
The evidence didn't stop at digital messages. Photos soon surfaced online showing David and Celeste together in person, confirming that their relationship had gone beyond online chats. One particularly significant photo showed David near Celeste's family home in Lake Elsinore, just days before her disappearance in April 2024, which clearly wasn't a coincidence and suggested a level of planning that made the case even more chilling. Perhaps the most heartbreaking detail came from Celeste's own family. Her brother, Matt Rivas, spoke out with detailed claims about David's relationship with Celeste. In leaked conversations with Reddit users, Matt revealed that he had tried to report David to police as early as April 2024, right after Celeste went missing. He said he provided the Lake Elsinore Police Department with evidence of David's inappropriate relationship with his underage sister, but was told there wasn't enough proof to act. This revelation was devastating. A brother saw the danger, tried to get help, and was dismissed by authorities who didn't take the threat seriously enough. Matt's account suggested that if police had acted sooner, Celeste might still be alive today. Celeste's family also shed light on her mindset in her final months. According to her mother's interviews, Celeste was completely infatuated with David and believed she was in a real romantic relationship. The grooming was complete. She thought what was happening was normal and consensual, even though she was too young to legally consent. David allegedly used his fame to isolate her from her family, making her dependent on him emotionally and psychologically. Even worse, evidence began to show that David may not have acted alone. Multiple sources claimed that people in his inner circle, friends, family, and professional associates, knew about his behavior with minors and either enabled it or stayed silent. Moderators on his Discord server reportedly helped hide evidence of inappropriate conversations, while friends and collaborators who saw concerning behavior failed to speak up. The extent of this alleged cover-up became even clearer when other content creators started coming forward to expose what they knew, as shown in this clip.
I'm gonna say this right now. He didn't kill anybody, bro. He didn't kill anybody. There's no way. There's no way he's been on tour. He didn't kill anybody. He's been on tour. He literally performed yesterday. Bro, do you see the videos that he makes? There's no way he's...
David's career fallout was immediate and brutal. Within days of Celeste's identification, major brands cut ties with him, and his own team appeared to be quietly backing away. While his representatives kept releasing statements about cooperating with authorities, they stopped short of offering the usual strong public defense you'd expect when a major artist faces allegations. The silence was telling. Even those closest to him seemed unwilling to defend his actions. Still, some fans stood by him. They argued that David was on tour in Chicago and Minneapolis right before and after the Tesla was impounded, making it hard to place him in Los Angeles when the discovery was made. He didn't kill anybody, bro. There's no way. He was literally performing yesterday. Do you see the videos he makes? There's no way he's out here killing someone, one supporter said online. But no amount of speculation could change the core fact. A 15-year-old girl was dead, and the evidence suggested her death might have been prevented if more people had spoken up when they first saw warning signs. And if David is charged and convicted, what awaits him is far from the memes circulating online. The Los Angeles jail system is one of the most dangerous and overcrowded in the country. Suspects in homicide cases are first held in LAPD's Metropolitan Detention Center or county jails while they await arraignment. And for celebrities, that doesn't mean special treatment or privacy. Facilities like Men's Central Jail and Twin Towers are notorious for violence, broken infrastructure, and overcrowding. High-profile inmates are often put in protective custody to keep them away from the general population, but that means near total isolation. A 2023 report by the Vera Institute found that inmates in protective custody spend up to 23 hours a day alone in their cells, leading to severe depression, anxiety, and sometimes self-harm. For a 20-year-old who's been living on the road performing to sold-out crowds, that kind of isolation would be psychologically devastating. If charges are filed, David would likely be held at Twin Towers Correctional Facility while awaiting trial, the same facility where notorious figures like Suge Knight and O.J. Simpson were housed. Even with protection, celebrities face risks there, from harassment to physical attacks. And if he's eventually convicted, the situation would only get more intense.